Welcome to the Savvy Podcast with me, Helen, and my amazing guests. Every week, we'll be bringing you experienced pet pros and specialist experts covering all aspects of the pet industry. Brought to you by Savvy Pet Spa, the global booking software for pet professionals everywhere. Now let's get this podcast popping.
Hi everybody, and welcome to my wonderful podcast for all you professional pet peeps out there. Savvy Podcast, let me tell you about it. Savvy is amazing. I'm going to read from this because I've written a long blurb, and in between all of this, I've got all of my guest details, so bear with me. So you all know what Savvy is, so you should do by now, and if you don't, go research it. So Savvy Pet Spa is a booking software for pet professionals such as my guest, who's just there. You can just see her, she's wonderful. I used it in my own salon. I know that my guest uses it and loves it, and I can't speak highly enough about it. So if you're a busy pet professional, Savvy Pet Spa is definitely the booking software for you. It's an intelligent booking software. But I'm going to introduce you in a second to my guest, who's Christine Belani. She's amazing. I love her. She's also a very dear friend of mine. So big smiles on my face. I haven't seen her for a while. We were like squealing earlier. But anyway, I'm going to introduce her to you before I let her say hi, because she needs an introduction. Trust me, she needs it. Okay. I'm going to read this because there's a lot. Okay. So with me today, as I've just told you, is Christine Belani. She's absolutely amazing. If you've not heard about her, I tell you guys the same thing. Rush to your devices and research. You will not be disappointed. I can tell you that for nothing. Christina is the owner-operator at her very new salon, which is Master Pet Styling. She co-owns with her husband, who is a wonderful dog father, Joe Villani, also a very dear friend of mine. He's lovely. And they co-own Petticoat's Pet Salon, and that's where they use Savvy. I can't tell you enough about it, but let me just read this, okay? She's recognised very early on in her career that there was a need in our industry for people that were caring and patient and skilled within the pet professions. And it's as simple as that. And that just started this journey for her. I mean, I would love to read out all of her qualifications, but I literally don't have enough time. And I would probably run out of breath and end up with a hoarse voice because it's amazing. But she recognised really early on in her career about the need for patience and just love and care within pet grooming generally. She privately trained at the Albert School of Grooming. She has further educated herself, and she's a master groomer with the PGA. That's one of it. Qualifications, just one. Christine's focus has always been on her education. It's not been on competitions. That's not where she wants it to go either. She's been developing and honoring her skills and honing her skills for forever. She's exacting in what she does. Exacting is the only word I can use. She is the most detailed, driven person I think I've ever met in my entire life. At the end of August, I believe it's the end of August, correct me if I'm wrong, Christine, if I am, please tell me, she will have literally followed her dream, which is to be an internationally recognised master groomer. I'm sure that's the end of August this year, if it's not already. It is, yeah? Cool. And she's done all this. Well, first of all, being a single mum, which I know she's not anymore because she's now married to the wonderful Joey. But she's just internationally recognised for her industry input, just educationally. I just can't speak about her enough. She's absolutely loves cats. She will groom a cat within an inch of its life. She really will. But she's amazing. So please, Christine Belani, my wonderful friend, tell the world about you. So hi.
Oh, you are so sweet. Talk about making a girl's face. All right, this is where being a geek pays off in life, because getting that kind of an introduction just warmed my heart. And all I could think was, I just wanted to learn.
And look where it's got you now.
Right? It is. It's, I don't know what it's like in the UK, but in Canada, trade shows are not easy to come by. The US, you can find a dog grooming trade show once a month through summer.
Yeah.
In Canada, I was lucky to get access to one a year, and you'd get one a couple rounds and then it would shut down or change to another province. And life in Canada is expensive, add on travel, and it's even more expensive. So as a single mom, going and chasing trade shows to compete just wasn't really part of the equation for me. So I needed to find a way to excel another way. And to me, it's through certifications and education. The more paper you can put on your wall, the more validity when you stand up and say, it's not good to shave right down to the skin because you're wrecking skin cells, that help the immune system and stuff. People are looking at you with more of a respect compared to when you try to say, I'm just not going to do that. Or you go ahead and do it and you watch things happen and fall apart. And,
Yeah.
So,
Important.
so yeah.
Tell us your brief journey of how you became a dog groomer. Where did the interest come from? Tell us briefly how that happened for you.
Okay, so first off, I tried to groom my parents' dog a million times through my life when I was a kid. Could never work a clipper. Of course, we all know what it's like trying to shave a matted dog, and our dog was always matted, and I was always trying to rescue it as a little kid. And so let's say my dog grooming career started way back then. However,
we played with the local dogs and our own dogs. We didn't play with dolls. Dogs are far more important.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Trying to grab the family cat and throw it in the bathtub and see how I survived. And
Yep.
I was
you
that
the
kid.
spoils to show it as well.
Yeah, definitely do. So I had done that, and when I had first gotten out of high school, my mom had asked me about dog grooming, and I laughed at her and I said, Mom, my stick men are always drunk or falling over. There's no way I could groom a dog. I can't draw a straight line. I can't walk a straight line. So that dream was done right away. No way, can't do that. And I'm going to say about 10 years went by, and I am like so many other people. I was in my front yard brushing my dog. My neighbor came over, brushed my dog. Ooh, you did so nice. My mom saw it and brought up the dog grooming school again. And I said, Mom, my stick men have not gotten any more sober. So I looked up. Yeah, exactly. Ooh, that talent is long gone of drawing anything. So I looked up schools and I saw that they actually had an accredited school that you can even get a loan from the government to go for dog grooming. So I immediately signed up. It was like a no-brainer. Absolutely, yes. So I had to wait several months. They only took like 4 students in every few months. And the day that my turn, I walked in. Oh, and they were from the UK. They were ex-bobbies from the UK who happened to be the owner. Well, but I walked in and it was the first day of the rest of my life. For the first time at 27 years old, there were people in the world that were like me. I wasn't this unique, wacky, independent person. There's like an entire universe of people that are very similar to me, and they're all dog groomers. So right. So that was it. And then and coming out again, so I was small town Canada in Alberta, middle of nowhere, a stick in a rock, and there's my house. And so I didn't feel like doing the hour-and-a-half drive to go to work or the hour drive to go to work in the city. And the only groomer around at the time had been using a shop vac in reverse for a blow dryer and dollar store combs. So I felt really confident that I would be okay opening up a salon in my area.
No competition.
No joke. Yeah, no, and you know what? She doesn't groom anymore at all, and she ended up becoming a dear friend of mine. She had a boarding facility. As soon as I was grooming, she forfeited everything to do with grooming. Said, "Take it. I want nothing to do with it." So,
yeah.
right. Anyway, so with that, I know how unintelligent it is to come out of school and open up a business. That is one of the worst, scariest things somebody can do. And combine that with a lack of business knowledge on top of it. So immediately I had enrolled myself in continuing education, and I had started with the Canadian Professional Groomers Association, and just started reaching out for any ongoing education I can get a hold of. So because of the way I opened up, I saw those pieces of paper on my wall as so vital. My diploma graduating grooming school was the first one in my area. And even the city nearby, I think at that time there was only about 4 or 5 actually certified professional groomers. So that made it so I got to come out of school knowing nothing with my prices over and above majority of the people and a livable amount that I could raise my kids, not have daycare, and start building my dream immediately without waiting. So that's kind of how it all began. And then it just became kind of a sick addiction. If I see a good education program, I am down for it. Comes with a piece of paper I can hang on my wall. Woo, you better believe I'm happy dancing for that paper.
Decorating your salons certificate by certificate on you. Just bypass the wallpaper and the paint. We're just on.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
But
Like
you answered my question then, because I was going to ask you about the comparison for and you answered it inadvertently about the comparison for the USA to Canada, about the competitions. Do you think, because I mean, you know, that was only last year because you're only 28 now, remember?
Oh yes, that's right. You're right.
I
have a birthday in like 2 weeks and I don't count them anymore. I don't celebrate them.
Just I'm 14, I've been 20 for years. But do you think that that's changed now in the years? Thank you. Do you think that's changed now in the years from Canada? Because I know you go back and forth, but do you think it's changed from the US? Because obviously I know from being in the UK and coming over to the US to the shows that there's a massive difference in how things are, advertised, marketed, the options that they have in the US compared to the UK for, just grooming solutions and, Hoovers and Vans. It's just, I can't even begin to describe. It's just mine's differently.
Right. And no, when I was up in Canada last, and I'm still very active in the grooming groups and stuff and see the way it is. And it's still like grooming's still a very quiet under the table thing there. To find seminars, a lot of the times you're looking at the different areas and looking for private in shop seminars. They don't have the trade shows. There's a group of women that are absolutely amazing. And, one of them, Miss Barb Prukel, I just have to give that girl a shout out. She's like my Canadian heart. Every time I see her at a show, it's like she just brought a piece of home to me. So every time I see her, it's like just this little piece of Alberta I see with her, right?
Well, bless her.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so her and her group of groomers there that have all been so amazing. She works with a wonderful big group, and they're forever trying to get more going in Western Canada. And there's a little bit out east, but no, there's just still not much up there. And even competing, I mean, most of the groomers in Canada are coming down to the US shows to compete. So in one sense, it's nice because the camaraderie between the two nations and our grooming industry is really sweet to see. But there's so many groomers that are missing out, and they don't even think about the ongoing education because it's not something that's put in. And then the unity between groomers. I mean, I'm sure you noticed it. Groomers that attend these trade shows seem to have more unity towards one another. Ones that don't attend these trade shows seem to be more complex, combative, and
I think I agree. I think there's an isolation around grooming if you're not careful, and it can be quite an isolated job if you're working alone, from home, or whether you're renting or you're mobile. I think it's important to get a support circle around you. And I think some people, and again, we did a podcast the other day, and we were talking about neurodivergent people. I think a lot of neurodivergent people will migrate towards professions that are quite isolating, but I don't think they realize that in this particular profession, you need to have support because it can be very, very daunting. It really can. Even as far as education, I mean, and that's one of my questions to you is, I know you've been on a massive education journey, and I've also, because we've had this conversation before, know that some of them have not been particularly good. So that's polite. That's polite. But that leads me nicely into that question is, education is fundamentally and absolutely 110% your thing, and I adore you for it. But you've had a lot of experience as far as what would be your advice to a groomer, older groomer, new groomer, or anything in between? As far as education, what would be your advice as to where to pursue it and how to pursue it? And do you offer anything?
All right. Well, I
I
love
love that question before.
this is one of those things that I have so much fun with because, okay, so Joey and I, he's an older groomer, I'm a younger groomer. If he didn't have the credentials he has, so Joey's an anomaly. Joey is the dog father, and he is an anomaly. People don't get to walk through life like Mr. Villani does, except Mr. Villani.
I just thought he's amazing.
Right? So let's just put him that he's that guy that gets this special star to walk through things not the way everybody else has to. A typical person that would be in his age range and years of grooming experience and everything, I would happily encourage them to go and certify still. I mean, all it's going to do is cost you a bit of money, hone your skills a little bit, and make it so your confidence when you're asking for your cost in the dogs that you're grooming is without a doubt. When somebody looks at me and says, oh, $95 for a Shih Tzu, yeah, that's an hour of my time. I'm hand fluffing, I'm using this, I'm using that, I'm using my expertise. There's no two ways about it that I know I'm worth more than an oil change for your car, So that continuing education for the older groomers, a lot of them are missing the point that you're coming to a financial level that is different than what you experience without typically. I am yet to meet groomers that haven't gone through the education that are charging what groomers that have gone through the education are. So, and there's always a little bit more.
And industry standards, I think, have changes. I mean, I've groomed forever, and I didn't do my qualifications until I was in my 50s. So, I am a late to life, education wise. I knew my stuff, but I also learned so much more because it's a fast paced industry. Everything is changing. It isn't just about doing the groom, it's about the organs within the body, it's about the conformation of the dog, it's about the products you use, it's about how you handle the dog, it's everything. It's not just one thing. There's a lot of science involved in it, and that changes all the time. So I absolutely 110% agree with you that if you're an older groomer or a very experienced groomer who isn't old, you might have started very young and not be as old as me, but 20. But yeah, do it, go for it, because you learn. If you stop learning, change your job.
Exactly. Yes. And let's face it, we all are passionate about what we're doing, but we're not doing it as a hobby. We need to make a substantial, livable career that we can be proud of and raise our family and leave something for our grandkids with. We can't do that.
Sorry, I was just going to say it's about earning, and I think a lot of people miss this, and I do this when I do my mentoring. It's about earning enough to be able to pay your way in life, but also earning enough to live the lifestyle you choose to lead, not your forced lead. And if you don't have your priorities right and you don't have your prices correct within your expectations of yourself, then you're not going to earn money doing this. It will quickly become not your happy place anymore. It'll become a sad place.
Exactly. So, and as far as who you're going to choose to pick, it's all about who's going to align with your morals more and your values more at the end of it. Because like you said earlier, education in the scientifics of our industry are forever changing. And some of the stuff that's taught is really more of an opinion than in a science or anything else, because we are in such an unregulated industry with so much.
And that's globally. Globally, it's unrecognized. It's just not regulated properly globally.
Exactly. And you know what? There's a balance. Should it be? To some degree, yes. Do we need the government in all of our business anymore? No. We should all be proud that we're kind of the last of the Mohicans, that if we could just get our open a group, we could be the ones to regulate ourselves. So this is where encouraging each other to get that education and educate your public. Okay, so now without being nasty to another groomer in any way, shape, or form, all of my advertising that I'm going to be doing is going to be exposing the lack of education of the groomers around me. And there's nothing I can do to prevent that, because I'm not going to let my light be shined down because I'm the only one around. Well, there's a couple others, but there's a big chunk of people who are grooming with no education. And it just by nature is going to
And equally, there's a market for that type of groomer that chooses to just remain within that lane and just do whatever they're doing, and nobody is judging them. There's no judgment here. You know, as I said, I'm a late to life as far as education is concerned. I did all of my quals that and I didn't have to do them. I wanted to do them because I knew I could see there were changes, and I wanted to be ahead of the pack. Excuse the pun, but I wanted to be ahead of the pack. Yeah, I'm retired. I don't groom anymore. I'm retired. My main focus is on, you know, working with Savvy and educating other groomers and making sure that they are having the very best for the business. And doing these podcasts are vital, because a lot of groomers are afraid to say, look at me, I've got this, I've won this award, because they don't want to make themselves look as if they're being big-headed, or they don't want to seem as if they're demeaning other people in the area that might be grooming. But no, they shouldn't. Absolutely shouldn't. You know, you've paid for it. You worked hard at it. You enjoy it.
You know what? I was one of those that did that for a very long time, especially when I got around my peers. I would be very quiet about, and I still am, I'm very quiet about what I've gone out and done. But at the end of the day, I want my customers to know the difference. I want them to know why I charge what I charge. I want them to know why I'm so passionate when I speak about certain things, because I am somebody who maybe speaks with a lot of passion, whether it's positive or negative, it can come out with both. So if somebody understands the credentials and where I'm coming from, you know, and again, you walk around dimming your own light to satisfy the world, and there's never any change. You got to let them come up to your standards, because, you know, it's like anything. You got your little level of emotion. People down, it's easier to pull you down than for them to rise up to you. And that's one of my pet peeves is all of these people who just let their light be shine.
That was one of my questions, pet peeves within the industry, and it is. You know, you've just answered your own question. That my question there is that, you know, people that put you down, people that don't want you to excel or see you doing something a little bit different or a little bit better, or, you know, coming from a different angle or being unique, and they're like, "Oh, look at him," and it's mean, and it's not nice, and it's gonna happen, and you're just gonna have to hold your head up and move past it. You're just gonna have to.
That's a great too. Now, did you like that shirt you're wearing? Good, because that's what matters. Do you like your education? Good. Now be proud of it, because that's what matters.
And also, equally, don't be afraid, because I know you had and I know, because we had a very long conversation about it in the past, about you had a very bad experience, and we won't name, because that would be mean. You only talk about positive. But I know that you had a very bad experience with one particular education establishment, and you made a decision to remove yourself from that. What would you say to somebody that was in the same position? Would you say do what you did, or, you know, what would you advise? Because it was difficult. It was a difficult decision for you. It was hard. I know it was painful for you.
It sucked. Yeah, it was terrible. You know what? It's time and money at the end of the day, though. And it's, again, with everything in life, you got to have your morals and what you're standing for. And if it doesn't align, listen, that one particular agency group, whatever you want to call them, is a good example, because they seem to have a group that follows. And if you're not one of the little fish swimming and you decide to swim in another course, it can be very uncomfortable. But at the same time, it's, you know what, if I got this feeling in my gut that we're all about to swim into a shark's mouth, I'm not following. Yeah. So, you know, it's pick your moral, find what you're going to stand on, and find your groups that are going to align. You don't have to be vocal about it. You don't have to. And in that negativity, there's about 3 grooming related things that were so good to learn, even though they were being taught improperly, wrong to what my further research, you know, they opened my eyes, and they opened my eyes to your education is only good as the people who are teaching it. So you've got to find the people who align with your morals and your values, because, again, unregulated. So sometimes when you look at other groomers and other peers, your groomers and other peers can be the nastiest ones to be like, well, what does that even matter? I mean, what do they even know that they have this going or that going, right? So the peer bullying from each other is more of a harsh thing. You know, everybody thinks that you have to like compete to show that you have passion in this industry or something, right? Again, information and knowledge is there for all of us to take in and check out what we need to. So it all has to just align at the end of the day.
And what's important for one groomer to learn may not be important for another groomer to learn. It doesn't mean that they're wrong. It just means that they're on a different journey. And now it is what it is. But I think it's important to identify if you've invested your time and your money into something and you are not comfortable, you need to either remove yourself, and if you can get your money back, great, do that. But don't be afraid to say no, thank you. Don't be afraid to say no. Just like we shouldn't be afraid to say no to our client base. We were having a conversation before the video. If a customer isn't happy about your prices or the timelines or whatever that might be, it's okay to say that's fine. That's fine. Go use somebody else. So okay.
And like they say, even a clock is right twice a day, right? So even if you feel you wasted money on education, they have knowledge in there that you can use.
You can take positive education and use that to turn it into a positive. You learn from it anyway.
Exactly.
Well, I know.
So there's never.
Sorry, go on. What were you saying then?
I was just going to say, so it's never a waste. At the end of the day, there's always something you can learn from it.
100%.
It's money. We burn it in worse ways.
Yeah, and definitely. Now I know, because I know you well, that you love grooming cats and you prefer grooming cats over dogs. Now, there's cat grooming is something that's really coming into play now, starting to pick up within the UK, and I know there's going to be a lot of people go, wow, why would you prefer to groom a cat? It's got claws and teeth. So tell us briefly why you love grooming cats. I know why, but tell them, because they're just going to go.
Okay, well, there's a few points. But first off, a little personal note about me. I'm that person. If it comes near me and it invites me, I'm touching it. I like the thrill of animals and the danger that goes with it. So bitey, crazy dogs that were only ever sedated and medicated, give them to me, baby. I'm so excited to rehabilitate them. Yeah. And same with cats. Right away to begin with, it was the thrill of just knowing that I could have an animal comfortable with me that could mess my day right up, but they could be so comfortable and at peace with me. So that was the first. And then it became kind of a show off thing to me and the cats. We'd be together hanging out and I'd be like, look at me blow drying you. And my kids would come in and film, and I'd have a cat curled up in my neck cuddling as I'm blow drying and combing them out. And so again, it was a self show off thing to begin with. Time progressed. My life is changing. I got really sick a few years ago and I almost wasn't grooming and I had to fight for my life. And so my health became number one priority over my grooming. And that's part of what's taken my education journey some extra time. So I had to go a year and a half of pure focus on health and zero focus on grooming, and terrified I was never going to groom again. And now I'm trying to find that happy balance between never again do I want to feel the way I felt and that time money balance. So cats are quiet. They don't give you a headache barking in the shop the whole time. They're typically 45 minutes to an hour and 20 minutes. That cat, you want it in and out. So I can pull a cat in every 30 minutes and have them rotating out in that same kind of time frame. The dollar sign that's going to come with them is double what a dog is for the time frame at minimum. And
just makes sense.
That's it. So the payout reward, and again, special handling. I have a firm belief that if you have an open mind and you have patience, anybody can be taught expert handling skills. It's when people lose patience trying to learn from somebody else, fumbling with a dog or a cat, that all of a sudden handling skills become unteachable. But I truly believe that expert handling skills can be taught to anybody, especially if they're an open-minded person that can understand energy exchange that happens while we're handling as well, right? So, and that's another reason I groom cats, the handling skills, the show off. Yeah, I like showing off. I did it to Joey when we worked together. We'd have a big dog he couldn't get nails on, and he wants me to come help him and two other groomers. I walk up, push him out of my way, slap the dog over my knee like a naughty little kid, and snip, do the nails and walk away. Done.
Yeah.
So, same reason I do cats. It is. I will say I'm very humble.
There's nothing wrong with a bit of showboating, trust me. There's nothing wrong with a bit of showboating.
The only place I love to do it is with like a client coming in that's like, oh, he freaks out for nails. I'm like, oh, does he?
Oh,
And, it's
what? Yeah.
it is. It's my show.
Yeah. So what's your top tip on cat grooming? What's your top tip? If you had to give one tip for anybody that was thinking, I'm going to start grooming cats, I've done all my training, I'm a bit nervous, what's your top tip to them?
Get rid of the nervousness right there. And don't groom cats if you're scared or nervous. Number one tip. If you have any fear, you got to be quicker than the cat. So you got to have ninja-like reflexes. And when you're scared, your brain can't think quick enough for ninja-like reflexes.
Absolutely.
But honestly, a true one is not to be scared. Most cats I find to be better than dogs. So do the research, watch some cat groomers. I'm going to start doing more live feeds. Finally got my little goodies here to do this internet 90s kid it's a fancy camera.
Oh.
Just put it back.
How would people? So I know you've not started doing that just yet, and I know you're very active on your own social media. So how would people, if they wanted to reach out to you and ask you a question, or maybe if you're future planning to do a bit more educational wise, because I know you've just got your wonderful qualifications. So how would they reach out to you? What would they do? Because we can add this in at the bottom, but it'd be nice to hear it from you.
Okay. Well, I'm speaking with Joey in Texas in November this year. So him and I will be doing a seminar there together. And yeah, we might argue a little bit. Hopefully we won't, but it happens.
She'll know always the plans in that relationship. You're okay.
Right. It's not me. Anyway, and if you find me on my master pet styling business page and through you guys would be great, because right now I'm still just building here.
So what's next for you? What's next for you in your career? Tell me. Can you tell me? Is there anything sneaky going on?
So what's next for me? So Joey and we picked up this salon on the beach side. The purpose of it is to make it a more luxury, high-end salon. So we're going to be doing TheraCleans in here and more of the longer haircuts and the time-consuming specialty things. Yeah. I'm going to be available to train other people if they would like to come and do some learning with me on handling or scissoring skills. I'm a lefty out there. If anybody who needs some lefty lessons, we know how fun that can be. Yep. So I will be available for that. And I was going to say something else and I don't even know what I was thinking. Oh yes, my little boutique. So our little doggy that we have, the newest little creature to our house that's cute and adorable. She inspired Sophie's boutique.
You have to send Emma a photograph so we can add it on at the bottom of the blog because we need to see your new baby.
I will for sure. Oh, she's ridiculously cute too. I'll send you one in her little dress and her necklace.
Fully dressed, please. We want the going out outfit, please. We want the going to dinner outfit.
Yes. The master pet styling. I've got special embroidered clothes that we're bringing in for the dogs and everything. So yeah, this is going to be kind of a VIP location with a boutique, and Persephone, the big standard poodle, has brought in her Persephone's puppy treat bar that's going to be set up for next week. So yeah, we're doing the build it and they will come model. So I'm not necessarily.
I did the same at my salon and it worked. So yeah, it does work,
right?
I know you're.
That's it. I need to.
Sorry, go on. There was a delay then.
Oh, I was just gonna say I need to find my one girl that can come and run the shop and keep everything going for me. So I need to build the space to bring that princess in. See, if I build it, they will come. Yeah.
I think my puppy might be but so we're talking about this really, really quickly because I know that we're careful of time. Is that we were talking about upselling because salons, tend to just offer the one thing and people are afraid to dip the toe in the water and find something that will sell that, maybe has a longer shelf life, so they don't necessarily want to sell anything that's, food-wise. They might want to sell. And a boutique, specialist boutique clothing is a really good way of Because people will come, they see the dog food, and they don't think about it when they've dropped the dog off, but they see the dog all thinking like, oh, look at this little dress, that would look lovely, you know. So there's ways of doing that and marketing that as well, because I know that you're going to be doing that on your page. So
Yeah.
I think if you can add a vertical to your business anyway, it's a really good way of just upselling and earning more money and developing your business model. And that's exactly what you're doing.
That's exactly, you know, what we're looking at little Sophie and her little dress and necklace and how adorable she was. And I really like to do those teddy bear and cartoon style haircuts. So it almost seemed like a no brainer. You want some cute Instagram pictures, right? You want some stuff that's going to be the greatest marketing. Why not bring the products, use the dogs as a model and see how many people buy it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. What is your Instagram so people can follow you, Christine? What is your Instagram?
Everything is master pet styling, I believe. I have to look. I actually hired somebody to do all of my social media stuff because I'm very, very stuck in the 90s. So I'm horrible.
There's nothing wrong with that. I do not, there's no judgment here for that. Trust me. I'm there with you.
Well, right now, if someone messages me through Facebook, I might get it in 2 weeks because I have no idea how to make it make noise or even like tell me somebody messaged and I have no patience to sit down and fix it.
Well, better late than never. I said better late than never. So I'm going to ask you my last question now because I know that Emma will be behind the scenes going, hurry up, hurry up. So I ask everybody this question. I apologize. So if I have to, you know, as concise as possible, you're going to have to go and live on a desert island. I'm going to make you. And you can only take one pet of your choice with a coat type of your choice. What pet would that be? And you can only take one product and one grooming tool with you. What they're going to be?
I can only take what before the grooming tool?
One product and one grooming tool. What would they be?
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Well, we're going short-haired terrier. It's going to be a short-haired terrier because it's going to help feed me and it's going to be low maintenance.
Yep.
Yeah. So short-haired terrier, and I guess all we need is a pumice stone so we could strip them out a little bit. And I bet you that thing would be good at scraping scales off a fish too. So you could just
really healthy. I love it.
Right? And the product I think should maybe be something flammable and a good hairspray. That way you can stiffen the dog's hair up so you can keep them more protected for things. And if you have to start a fire, just keep the dog away from the spray can as you're smacking your stones.
Safety first. Safety first,
right? There. So 2 dual purpose items that we're going to bring. And
yeah, that's good. That was the perfect answer. Oh, I love you so much. That was brilliant.
Protect me and do everything he needs to be. And then look cute too with the little fuzzy still.
I dread this because I know that Emma's going to do this to me at some point soon, and I keep listening to everybody else's answer and going, oh my God, I changed my answer now. No, I quite like that answer, so I'm stuck already.
Right?
Anyway, listen, Christine, thank you. You're amazing. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your glamour. Thank you for your advice. And thank you for being my friend.
Well, I feel the same. Thank you, guys. And I'm not sure if I did. So there was one correction possibly in there. I'm certifying with the International Professional Groomers Association. So it's IPG. IPG. So, and that started because of, being in Canada and again, which I love. And now working and doing stuff with you in the UK. You really are just thinking the international.
Absolutely. My international bestie. This is the way it works. Thank you so much.
We're going to keep this all.
Absolutely. I'm sorry I'm not going to be with you at the show for Hershey's. I'm gutted I'm not going. But we'll definitely be there next year. And I'm definitely going to come to the US before then. So we've got to look up. We're going to go and have oil in the bag or something.
I highly agree. Get to Florida, come and, enjoy some Florida sun. We got our boat going that I'm driving most times. I can bring you and splash you around. And
I'll hold your drinks for you. I'll hold your drinks for you while you're driving.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for your time. Give my love to the family and give Joey a big hug off me, please.
Will do so. It's beautiful. Thank you
So much. Bye.
Bye.
If you'd like to know more about Savvy and our booking software, visit us online at savvypetspa.com. Thanks for joining. Catch you next time.